Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello all, you're watching The Print. Joining us on The Print today is Telangana's Municipal Administration Minister KTR. There's a high decibel campaign going on in Hyderabad now for civic polls. BJP has brought its top leaders here in the city, including Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and also we have the Chief Minister here campaigning, in fact holding public meeting for a civic poll. So why has this civic poll become so aggressive? Why is there national interest to this civic poll in Hyderabad?
Well, my friends from BJP have made it international. In fact, they've been invoking the names of Bin Laden, Babar and Akbar and others. So it's not only national anymore, I think it has become an international election for them. For us, it is just a civic election. Our Honorable Chief Minister had campaigned the last time as well, and this time also he's campaigned and he has campaigned and he's appealed to the people to vote for the continuation of the good work that has been started on numerous counts. And I do believe that the people of Hyderabad will be able to raise above, the divisive politics that are being brought to the fore, and they'll vote for us.
All right. So we also see Prime Minister's visit to Bharat Biotech here in Hyderabad yesterday. This comes at a time when we are ready for civic polls here. So does it look political? What does the ruling party have to say, or is it strictly how the party had projected it?
Well, vaccine seems to come to the fore whenever there is an election. In Bihar, there was an election, and then there was a talk of free vaccine to the people of Bihar. And in Hyderabad, there is an election, and also in the election manifesto, strangely, for a local body election, they talk about vaccine dispensation. It's funny, but the fact is, I think Prime Minister and the party in government in Delhi should actually administer vaccine to everybody, irrespective of whether or not there is going to be an election in a specific area. I hope, at least now, after the election, they will actually take a strategic view and say who are the more vulnerable in the country who need to be administered the vaccine, and I hope they'll set out a course for that.
Well, but what about his visit? Does it look political, gives out a message to the people of the city, Prime Minister coming to the city at the time of polls?
Well,
or pure coincidence?
Well, I don't know about that. I think you'll have to ask him or ask his party. But one thing is a fact, one thing is for sure, and that is vaccine seems to take center stage every time there is an election somewhere. So I leave it to the people to think or to understand the political overtures.
Right. The Telangana Chief Minister was also not present while the Prime Minister landed here in the city to receive him. So the version that's coming in from the other side is they didn't want to make it political, which is why they did not have any political person present there. How is the Telangana government or the ruling party looking at it?
In my humble opinion, a Prime Minister and Chief Minister are institutions. It's not two individuals. The institutional dignity, decorum, it goes with it goes with them wherever they go. So it would have been nice, it could have been courteous, it would have sent a right message that even though we are fighting an election, a battle, it would have been nice for the two important leaders to be seen together, because vaccine is an issue that cuts above, that rises above all kind of petty politics and petty posturing. So I believe it would have been nicer, because our Chief Minister was ready to go and welcome the Honorable Prime Minister and accompany him even to the Bharat Biotech where the Prime Minister had visited. They did not want it that way. So I think it's a matter of one's discretion and wisdom, really.
You visited Bharat Biotech a couple of months ago, approximately 3 months ago. So you've had an interaction with the management there at that time too. So what happened at that time? Was there any discussion about central leadership talking? Right?
Well, absolutely. In fact, the complaint, not the complaint necessarily, but they were lamenting that how they were not getting regulatory approvals expeditiously. They were worried about how the government does not seem to have a strategy, and there was no meeting whatsoever till then, from a government entity, be it a minister or a secretary, who had called all the vaccine manufacturers and had laid out a strategy and a rollout plan. So hopefully Prime Minister's visit may have addressed some of those issues. If it is not done, in fact, let me put it this way. I think Honorable Prime Minister's visit also shows that this government in Telangana has done exceedingly well, because today Hyderabad remains the vaccine capital of the world. And the Honorable Prime Minister's visit is only a re-endorsement, a reinforcement of the fact that this government has actually supported an expansion of life sciences ecosystem and has allowed companies like Bharat, Biologically, Indian Immunologicals, etc. to go on, into creating a solution for for COVID.
Right. A lot of national BJP leaders are here. Yogi Adityanath was yesterday here in the city. Today, Amit Shah is here. Started off his campaign with a visit to the Bhagyalakshmi temple as per the schedule. So, two questions here. A lot has been going on about changing the name of Hyderabad to Bhagyanagar. So, what does the ruling party or the state government has to talk about it? There are mixed reactions. Few people are okay with it, few people are not. So, why this whole thing of changing Hyderabad's name to Bhagyanagar now?
Well, you have to ask them that. We don't have that in our agenda. We believe in elevating the living standards of people. We believe in ensuring better infrastructure is provided in the city. Mere changing of a name doesn't change anything. Chennai, Madras has been renamed as Chennai. Bombay has been renamed as Mumbai. What changed in the life of a common man? So therefore, people have to decide whether they want name changers or game changers, because ultimately it's about what people want.
Yogi Adityanath had specifically spoken about changing the name to Bhagyanagar. He's done this in the past too.
Well, I think he's changed his name also, and he can change the names of his entire cities. He can even change the name of his state if he wishes to. But the fact is, I don't think anything has changed in Uttar Pradesh. We still see all kinds of atrocities happening there. We still see that on livability indexes and human development indices, they continue to lag behind the entire country. They continue to actually hold the country back. So I think Mr. Adityanath should focus more on administering his own state and stop, sermons to other chief ministers in other states.
Also, this campaign has taken a lot of political, communal color. There talks about old city versus new city, what's kind of the Hindu-Muslim angle has been brought in. The state government has said there could be law and order disturbances, communal harmony is trying to be disturbed by certain political leaders, as per Chief Minister's note. So, how did you think the entire communal color came into picture? BJP has been at the forefront of it. Is that what you think?
Well, when you have nothing substantive to talk about, when you have nothing to showcase really in an election, then you resort to this kind of gimmickry. We've been asking Government of India and the people who've been running Government of India, that is Bharatiya Janata Party, as to what they've done for Hyderabad in the last 6 years. Have they even done any work, any single activity worth 1 rupee? They cannot talk about it, unfortunately. So they have to hide behind this whole rhetoric of communalization, of how the city needs to change its name, etc., etc. All I'm saying is, I think people of Hyderabad can see through the sinister designs of BJP. They understand very clearly that the religious harmony, the communal harmony that is prevalent in the city is imperative. It is imperative to sustain it so that the city moves forward on the economic front as well. Today, the real issues that are plaguing the people of Hyderabad are better nalas, better drains, better lakes, better roads, etc., which is what they want, which is what they want us to talk about. Unfortunately, my friends from the BJP do not want to engage with us on that count. But I'm happy to keep it that way, because the people can see through this and they will vote for the right people.
Akbaruddin Owaisi from MIM has also made a few communal comments in his campaign. So MIM, at least Akbaruddin Owaisi, do you think has also been trying to make this campaign communal, the election?
See, let me put it this way. Either Akbaruddin Owaisi or the BJP state president here, nobody will be spared if they incite violence, or if they provoke violence, or if they indulge in communalization, and which might further again lead to some kind of a discord in the civil society. So both of cases have been filed in both of them. And let me also assure you, if any leader from my party also indulges in any such rhetoric which will incite violence or which will provoke civil strife, will certainly also take action, will not compromise on the future of this city. We have been very, very tough on law and order in the last 6 years. We've been, in fact, a trailblazer with our women's safety measures, with our new initiatives that we brought out, the command control center that we are unveiling. So, as a progressive party, as a party that looks forward to ensuring that this city moves on the path of development, we will certainly take action against anybody, Mr. Owaisi or Mr. BJP President. We will ensure that they are also dealt with as per law.
Quick last two questions. Does it come across to the ruling party that too much focus on Congress or eliminating Congress has costed them that BJP grew in that time? A lot of MLAs after state elections defected from Congress to the TRS. So is it like no focus on BJP in the last few years, or underestimating them might have costed the ruling party at this time?
No, we do not underestimate any of the political parties. See, politics is a very dynamic field. So it depends on who the party of the choice of the people is. Ultimately, end of the day, if the people want to choose Congress, they will choose Congress. If they want to choose TRS or BJP, it's up to them. Fact is, Congress today has weakened itself across the country. They have to introspect it. It is not up to us, to talk about Congress. I think they have to introspect and ask themselves as to what went wrong, because today they've become a dead weight, around the neck of Mr. Tejasvi Yadav in Bihar. Same was the case in Uttar Pradesh, also the case in Tamil Nadu. So it's for the Congress to introspect really as to what went wrong in Telangana, and not up to us really. And we'll have to fight somebody. We're not going to get a walkover. So there will be some opposition and we'll have to fight them. So it is in this case hopefully MIM, because as far as I'm concerned, they are number 2 in the Greater Hyderabad election.
Is that friendly relationship between TRS and MIM, has it costed to the ruling party? Because that's become a poll agenda for the BJP, pointing out at the friendship between both the parties.
Well, Rishika, we have supported Government of India on several bills that they've brought in, GST, demonet, and the list goes on, 370, etc. Does that mean we are friends and allies? Neither are we partners, nor are we friends. We have never aligned together. With MIM also, we have never contested the polls together. They are not in the government together. So they have been extending support, issue-based support, and we've been receiving it. Just as how we've been supporting the BJP government in Delhi, they've been supporting us. So I don't see that as that big an issue. And secondly, let me also point out, even after this election, if the government of India brings out a bill that is in the interest of the people of this country, we'll certainly support it. So it's not like we have to oppose everything for the sake of opposing it. And I'm sure that is the same case with MIM as well.
Right. Quick last question. Who is TRS' biggest enemy now? Is it the BJP or the Congress? I remember a few months ago before Dubaka, when I had spoken to you, you and specifically even Kavita had said BJP is literally negligible in the state. They won Dubaka, they've been aggressive in the civic campaign. So how is TRS looking at BJP right now? And also, who is the biggest enemy? BJP or Congress, and why?
In politics, firstly, Rishika, there are no enemies. We just have opponents. And in case of opponents, I would say right now in civic election in Hyderabad, it is MIM. And I think BJP and Congress can fight for the 3rd and 4th spots, and I have no problems in that.
In a broader perspective, for the state matter, is it BJP or Congress? Who is TRS looking
We
at?
will cross that bridge when we get to it. State elections are 3 years away. We'll cross it when we get to it.
As of now, it's still the Congress that they are looking at as principal opposition?
No, right now in civic election, it is the MIM that is the principal opponent, and then would be Congress and BJP, but we'll have to see who will come 3rd and who will come 4th.
So MIM is the principal opponent as of now?
That's exactly what I said.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Municipal Administration Minister KTR on the last day of campaigning in this high intense poll in Hyderabad. This is Rishika Sadam for The Print.